Vendetta with mortals. I'm in Western Massachusetts in a very unexpected turn of events in my dining room with mortals. What's going on?
Where are we? We've been abducted.
You're in, and I don't ever actually say the town that I'm in. I leave it real vague. I say Western Mass.
Very smart.
So no one will ever know where we are.
No,
No one will know where you are.
Western Mass.
I don't like geotag it or like say like do those little things, Foursquare and stuff. I don't do that.
Yeah.
I'm not into that.
I've never heard the word geotag before.
So, this is from a person who thought her cell phone camera was messed up, but really it still had the like factory plastic.
Is it a flip phone or
No.
no? You've moved beyond a flip
Take
phone.
a little bit longer to figure things out.
Listen, I mean, I was like direct messaging, tweeting at you, which I'm surprised we both could figure out, and saying like, "Hey, by the way, my phone isn't like cool with Twitter or anything, so you're gonna have to text me."
No. I love the Twitter for especially once people figure out you need to follow both like one another. That the follow has to be mutual.
Yeah.
Then
What?
you can actually have.
Yeah, you don't even know that.
Let's move on. Next.
But wait, but I do. So I do want to talk about social media, though.
Okay.
Can we for a
Yes.
second?
Yeah.
Because, well, like, what's the band's take on social media? Do you guys, are you like, is it like a chore that you hate doing and you feel like you have to, or are you into it?
Yes.
No.
No.
Well, no, what's funny is like that was like one of the first things that we got in like a dumb band argument about on tour because Karen was controlling the Facebook page, or you just knew she does more like social media stuff for her job, and she posted an album called
What?
It's like
Bridges
the
and
album.
best bridges and piers of tour. And they were
some
literally.
people would totally go for that.
I
you know,
think
these
that's
two.
cool.
See?
So I'm an architecture
No,
They
nerd.
weren't
I
even
think
good for-
no.
Shut up.
They
It was
were
the intent.
So-
And people liked it, didn't they?
No, the point is,
No. No,
I think
no.
social media is great. It's a really important tool for promoting the band, but I mean,
You don't take a picture of a bridge and then.
and like we try to run a lot of
I
stuff
don't
past
know,
each
man.
other because you
Well,
know
and
it's
that
like
was-
your
yeah.
image out there on the internet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Forever.
And it's three of you that have to decide every single
Right,
time.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, and I do a lot of the Facebook stuff, and Karen does. A lot
So
of the
yeah,
Twitter
what
stuff.
social media are you using? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Yeah.
We have a Tumblr, but we don't use it.
I cannot. I have to tell you that I've recently gotten into Tumblr, like
Yeah.
in the last year,
Yeah.
and I think it is the best tool for artists. Like it's artists on there promoting themselves,
Yeah.
and it's probably the best tool.
I figured out the angle because I figured that Instagram does our photo stuff. We don't do multiple.
But what do you
photo
take pictures
things.
of? What's on your Instagram? I just followed you today on Instagram.
I think our Instagram is pretty funny.
Yeah, there's
This
everything
morning
from
it was a cat photo, like
a
a
cat.
cat.
tour cat.
We like cats a lot.
Okay.
But we also are down with all tour pets. That's pretty much the bulk of Instagram photos from tour. There's some kind of working in of our hosts' tours, our hosts' pets for the tour photo. And
Cool.
I mean, it used to be we would take a picture of people in front of the house that we'd stayed in, but now it's turned
Because
into.
we stayed at like 5,000 houses. I'm starting.
Yeah.
But the photo that got the most hits or likes on Instagram was a picture from our practice space, like 3 or 4 weeks
In
ago.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, our practice space in Brooklyn. Karen, we like took a break. We were writing a song all afternoon, and we went outside to take a break. And Karen like comes running out of the building screaming, and she's like, "There's a rat in the toilet." And Leslie and I are like,
Welcome to New York.
I tried to pee and I sat down. I'm like, like the serious, like the girl scream that I never want to share, and I'm so sorry I just did it on video, but holy shit, there was a rat in the toilet.
but then we were like, "You left a rat in the toilet?"
I most
That's
certainly did.
sadistic.
What were you
I
supposed
felt
to do
really
with it?
bad for it. So,
Oh, was it alive?
yeah.
Yeah, it was
Oh.
just like stuck in the bowl.
Oh.
Making
we
the
went-
terrible death noises.
So-
What
we
did
go
you
in
do with
there.
it?
We go in there and it's like drowning and trying to get out of the toilet, and it's like the cutest thing. It's a
Oh.
baby rat, so it's like that big, and it's just squeaking and trying to claw out of the toilet. So we used like a
toilet brush.
A toilet brush and I think a plunger. It was like a 2-step process.
It was like chopsticks. We were like chopsticking it out.
Oh my God.
And then the owner of the building saw us and was like, I'm gonna kill that rat.
Wow.
And she ran up the block. I kept him at bay, and Elizabeth carried the rat up the block, and
yeah.
Hopefully that rat is alive and enjoying its life.
Oh, really? I would have killed it. I'm sorry. I would have probably killed the rat.
Apparently,
I think rats are disgusting.
Followers like rats and like
they like that you saved it.
Yeah.
Well, I asked if there was any vegans or whatever in the group. Is there any? You guys are all meat eaters.
I've been vegetarian for over 20 years.
Oh, vegetarians. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm mostly vegetarian. I was vegan for a little while, and definitely not anymore.
Not when you smelled the chicken stock in my house. It's hard to ignore.
Yes. It smells like Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and there's also like wine, homemade wine that I put in there too, and it's been going for like 6.5 hours.
And it's gonna be ready.
It's ready now. Yeah, it's pretty much ready now. Just saying.
I'll have some of that.
I'm pretty vocal to my followers that I'm not vegan or vegetarian, but I have a lot of vegan and vegetarian friends, so I don't judge.
Karen's super carnivorous, meat eater, unapologetic, actually an advocate.
Yeah.
It's just so hard for me to understand how people are getting enough protein in their diet if they want to grow up big and strong if you're not going to eat meat.
They are, but it's like a serious effort and like a serious amount of energy you have to put towards it.
I understand the effort and the energy that goes into it.
Yeah,
I
look
don't
how
have that.
fragile we are.
Yeah,
All we
I've
eat
been
is
vegetarian
vegetables.
None of you are fragile. What are you talking about? None of you present as fragile. Anyway.
At everything I do all the time.
God, we have no strength. Vegetarian.
Here's our band riff. So for every day we arrive someplace for tour, and they recognize the whole crazy, I need protein, I need meat protein right now, in my eyes, and they generally say, oh, okay, see you, bye. Tonight I found a lovely barbecue restaurant.
There's a lot of good places in Albany.
Yep.
So we were in, let's fill everyone in for a second here. We'll back up. We were in Albany, New York tonight at Bogey's. This was like, was this planned the whole tour? Did I miss this somehow, or was this added in?
It was a late addition to the tour,
Okay.
as far as we knew.
Because I really thought that I was keeping up with it, and then I felt like a loser for not knowing.
It was one of the later additions to this tour with Wolfhammer. And I guess it was a free show, and it was
it was a free show.
Yeah, like
yes, it was a
Forgotten
free show.
Stuff.
It's a very rare occasion.
Ah.
Well, this is our first tour where we're going through a booking agent, and the booking agent works with the promoter. So we kind of are showing up with maybe less information than we normally would, but more information in other ways, like how much we're going to get paid. I don't know if this is too nitty gritty, but it's just a different experience.
It's totally new for you guys, right?
We've always been in contact with the people when we're playing shows. We book it ourselves.
Yeah.
We talk through whomever. You know, we're texting constantly with whomever. Hey, what time should we get there? And oh, I've prepared a lovely vegan meal for you. And we go, yay! Oh, they go, yay. And I'm like,
well, I have to be honest. When I approached you for an interview, I wasn't sure. I was like, oh, they're signed to Relapse. I might have to go through and call Relapse and set this whole thing up because I don't know at what point it is right now, you know? Well, and so I was glad that we didn't have to do that.
Some people we met at this show last night. Where were we last night?
Portland,
Maine.
Portland, Maine.
Asked us.
Fall in New England, 2014.
I know this is our leaf peeping tour.
I know. I think it's so cool. You've had like the amazing. I think you have you? Amazing like fall foliage season here
it's been
on tour.
Glorious to use
it's pretty
that word
special.
again, the third time in tonight.
Do you think it's glorious?
Yeah, today it was unfortunately like pouring rain for a lot of the drives.
Sleeting, actually.
It's gonna start to snow tomorrow. I'm sorry. Welcome to New England.
Thank you. We're happy to be here. Can we go apple picking now?
Wait, what were we talking about before that?
Where were we last night?
Bogies?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Portland, Geno's.
Oh, somebody was asking us about Relapse and asking us if it was a bunch of guys in suits that showed up. Just people's perception, and it was ours as well before we got signed to this label, that it's this, like, really serious, like, what word am I looking for?
Corporate.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
corporate.
People associate label with corporate,
Yeah.
and luckily Relapse is really not.
But I guess I don't really associate them with corporate, but like with being successful, which I feel like comes with a certain amount of like red tape or weird protocol you have to go through to.
We're still learning
Two
the
things.
protocol.
Yeah.
They kind of have to tell us what we're supposed to be doing, and I think that for the most part, they've thought that we knew more than we did going in, and we need to ask them specific questions every step of the way. We don't
They'll
know.
be like, yeah, have you logged the,
What are you
what is
talking
that? So, the whole thing has been a learning process, but being on a label has definitely opened a lot of doors for us.
Was that the whole goal to begin with when you started this band, this
No.
particular? No.
It was
This was like a
just
fun
a-
side project that
Yeah, this was
happened
a
to be
hobby for all
so
of us.
fucking good that people couldn't help but take notice and it had to go somewhere.
That's where the gleeful shaking of head just happens. What? What just happened? Okay, great. We'll roll with it. But yeah.
The way I've always thought about it is we also sort of like, I don't know, like stumbled into being good. Like, we worked our asses off for years and years and years, and it was like, wait, we're actually getting somewhere, you know, like people are paying attention to us and our sound is evolving, and the success part of it was definitely felt like a falling into it thing. It was always just like us wanting to get together and play music and wanting to tour.
But you've been playing music together for many years,
6 years.
6 years. Do you feel like it's all been to this culmination up till this point so you could get to the point where you're like touring and signed or...
We
No.
we never had any plan. We came together as a band. We were writing music. We started playing shows. We started like editing the way we wrote music. We started touring. We started to associate ourselves a little bit like more. I don't know what the word is. I feel like we started to fall into the like heavy music scene in Brooklyn. We didn't just naturally like inject ourselves into it, but it happened over some time. And I think with we toured something like 5 or 6 times before a label ever entered it. And we never ever had a conversation about like, oh, we should, you know, our goal is to get on a label.
We might have had a pie in the sky discussion. I hate that expression. We might have said, okay, what happens someday, and maybe we sell ourselves to these 3 labels. I do remember having
Was
that
Relapse on the list?
Yeah.
I don't remember this
Yeah.
conversation at all.
Really?
I remember saying I wanted to tour Europe. That was like
Okay,
what
I
I
remember that
wanted
part.
to do. But yeah, the label thing, we never even, like, we recorded our EP, the Death Ritual EP, which I think we all can agree that was like a turning
Yeah.
point. It was a
Right.
turning point in our sound and like what we were doing. When we did that, we didn't even try to shop that around. We recorded it and we were like, well, we're going to put this out ourselves on vinyl.
And people
'cause-
just took notice because it was really good.
That was the weirdest part. We put it up online, and our friend Trez in Mares of Thrace that we played a show with, it was a birthday show in May, and she and I bonded because I sang some Prince karaoke drunk. And she suddenly is spreading this news to everybody who would listen that, oh my god, this band Mortals just posted this EP, you have to listen to it. And weirdly, we got a review from Adrienne, who was then working for MSN, and it spiraled. I don't know how that all happened, but it was really, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, like as a musician, I don't know a lot of other bands like where in the span of one project, like I've gone from, you know, like kind of barely being able to play guitar and barely being able to like write songs to getting to a place where I'm like very proud or feel competent in both of those areas. Like I feel like the trajectory of most musicians is you jump around from project and you gain experience over time,
Mm-hmm.
and then you create your like ultimate project. Whereas in Mortals, that evolution all happened in one band.
Yeah,
know?
we've been really patient and understanding and able to accommodate one another's experiments, I think, I know you guys are very patient with how I learn and how I figure stuff out and how I want to grow and either get faster or weirder as a drummer, whatever that is. But yeah, I feel like with you all, it's okay to screw around and try new stuff.
Right.
There's some weird moments. So it was my first time seeing you guys live. That was exciting for me.
Yay.
There was some weird moments. It was really cool seeing it. And what I started saying before we started filming is that every time I would like read up on you guys or hear anything, it was always like a mix of 10 different words people would use to try and describe it, and doom, sludge, stoner, black, blah, 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 metal, and so,
Trash.
yeah.
I saw that today. It's
Everything.
Like, Mortals, punk.
Punk,
trash.
I saw
And was
punk
like,
today too, and I was like, weird. I wonder if punks would go to that show and what they would think if they
They would
did.
totally not, right? I don't know, maybe they would.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They might like it if they did.
Yeah.
It does have that appeal to it. It does. The metal punks.
Good.
Fuck, yeah.
I know Leslie and I both came from playing punk music.
Mm-hmm. But do you ever get sick of that shit? Do you just... Because I feel like it sounds like... I don't want to sit here and ask you what were your influences. You can tell, I think, when you listen to it, what everyone's influences are and why... Do you ever get sick of that question? Do you think it just sounds like Mortals, and does it have to have 5 million different things describing
I love
it?
that it has 5 million things to describe it, that you can't easily pigeonhole us. Plus, it makes it easier for us to go and explore any other direction if we want to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the things that we're deciding that we like from moment to moment will always work their way into a song. And, you know, if I'm into thrash or something, this particular song, period, as that was being written, then we're going to sound thrashy. But...
Yeah, I feel like the reason that people come up with these names is because metalheads, in particular, are, you know, devoted. Many of them are devoted to their like thing. Like, you know, if you are into black metal, you are into black metal.
Hard.
And if you're into thrash, you're into thrash. And it's like, I think that people want to be able to categorize any band. We're not easy to categorize, so there ends up with this whole pile of words to try to describe our sound. And I just hope that it brings in an audience that might not be there otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the person who's like a true cult black metal, like, you know, early 90s, like, you know, first wave, or, I mean, that would be second wave, whatever. The point is, if there's a person out there who's like, I only listen to, like, this is what I think is black metal, and then somebody's like, oh, this band Mortals is black metal, you should check them out, and they would be sorely disappointed. That's, you know,
You think so, though? I don't know. Is that still really true?
If you are just following bands like, I don't know, if you're into first wave, you're like Bathory, Celtic Frost, like this Hellhammer, that kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe yes. Maybe you would like us. I don't know. But if
There used to be a point in my life where I would probably think that was cool and like loyalist, but I don't anymore. I just feel like you're missing out on so much.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Stuff.
I'm talking about
people. Oh, I know.
other people who are that way.
I feel like it's actually pretty common for, especially like American metal bands, to blend genres. Like, we're not unique in that way. I think we have a unique sound, but the fact that we're pushing together disparate genres that's kind of like what is happening in general right now. And
So does it sound like an American metal? Is that...
I think so.
And
I think there's like a contemporary American metal sound, and we fit into that.
I would like to even think that perhaps it could be the unfracturization of metal in America that hopefully you don't have to have your doom click, your stoner click, your black metal click, your thrash click, your death click. Maybe we can all just get along.
It was so nice, like, talking to the guys from, what was the opening band from last night?
Ramlord.
So they
that's
were talking
cool.
about...
What a cool local little show.
Yeah, like, putting the fun in songwriting of putting a D-beat part, like a crust punk part next to a black metal part, because you can't really, there's not a lot of bands you can go and listen and be like, how did they structure the song? And I think that's what's fun for us, too, in writing music, because we're putting together parts that aren't usually situated next to each other. So it's like, how do you get from this style of metal to this style of metal?
But
and
you do, though, and it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Thanks.
It's
you gotta figure out the transitions.
Yeah.
It's often
the whole
trying,
practice.
Yeah, like what we end up getting in fights about.
Or we'll just leave the song in 3 parts and be like, let's just play the end at this practice. And not try to like put the song together yet because it's so intimidating.
We'll spend like 3 hours on a part that ends up being like
1 unit.
1 millisecond.
Yeah.
So how many songs did you guys play tonight?
4.
God, I wish it was longer. Was a shortened set because of this weird time frame they had going on?
We've been playing 4 songs every night this tour.
I mean, they ask us to play about 35 minutes because we are direct support for Wolfhammer. We don't need to play 45 or an hour. I mean, it's their tour, and we're opening for them.
Mm-hmm. And that's the first time that you've been on a tour with a band that you don't really know and personally, and this is like a totally new thing.
Yeah. It's pretty exciting.
What's that like?
It's fun.
It's
totally
like,
fun.
It's like internet dating, really. I mean, I have a little experience with that, and it's just like it's that awkward
casual encounter.
It's a bunch of strange, awkward conversations about you, your family, your significant others, your work, sussing out what you will and will not tolerate for poking fun at one another.
Which part are you talking about? Internet dating?
That too.
Oh, yeah.
The same. I think the list applies to both.
Yeah.
I've had fun getting to know them.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all of us come from different backgrounds, but there's obviously a common theme. We're all in a touring band.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing heavy metal music. It's funny to approach. I mean, there's 6 of them traveling. It's a 5-piece band and their merch like roadie guy, and there's the 3 of us. And I mean, the first night of tour, we just showed up at the venue and we're like, "Hey, we've been looking forward to this for however long, couple months. What's your name? Who are you?"
Yeah.
And that we're on day 6. We just finished day 6 and. I think we all know each other's names at this point.
How much more do you have to go?
12. We have
12?
just about a little under 2 weeks. Yeah, it was a total of 18 shows with them. They had 20. We joined them. They had 2 shows on their way out without us, which I'm sure they're very sad that we weren't.
Is it mostly their fans coming and then they don't know you and get to see you, or do you get your own people?
Jinx.
Yeah.
I think people definitely come out. I mean, they've been posting on social media about it, that they've been coming out. So
yeah,
we've toured a bunch. I think that there's like, if this was our first tour ever, it would be surprising if a lot of people were coming out to see us. But we've toured a bunch. I think there's, I don't know, like people have talked about. We're hitting not all the cities on this tour we've played before, but at least half we've played before. So that always generates like a little bit of buzz. Like somebody who was at our show the last time will come back and like bring some of their friends.
Yeah, they always come back.
What was funny to me was that we played with Goat Whore and Wolfhammer the first night of tour in Rochester, and so I was going into that show being like, this is going to be fun, like we're gonna party, but this like isn't our night. This isn't like, we're just like the opening band for this, band that people are coming to see. And then we get on stage and start playing, and I look out and there's a kid singing all the words start
Awesome.
It
songs.
was so cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I didn't notice.
Right in front of her too. I'm just like, so cool. It's bizarre.
So, is this whole tour places that you haven't played before because it's a new?
It's like half and half.
Yeah, I mean, Portland, Maine was one of the first. I mean, we've never played there before.
At Gino's.
Yeah.
What did you think of that? I think it's a cool little
It
place.
was a really cool place.
Yeah.
I fell down some stairs.
Oh, so it was a good night then.
I wasn't even trying. I was carrying a merch bin.
There's a lot of stairs there. It's easy
Yeah.
to do. I nearly wiped out twice too, but
Yeah, that's the thing is like playing new places, you always kind of have to start back kind of, the crowd is thin because you haven't played there before and people don't know who you are, and then you come back and hopefully word has spread and the crowd gets bigger. Where else have we not
we've
played
never
this
played
time?
Boston officially, so that'll be weird.
Oh, when's that happening?
Tuesday.
2 nights from now.
So
I
tomorrow's
never played Burlington.
Right.
Burlington,
Never
and
played
then
there.
that's Monday, and then
Burlington,
Tuesday's Boston.
And then we play Brooklyn.
So that's our home.
Cool, and then you go
tour.
back home.
Yeah.
Tons of people come see that. That's gonna
Hope so.
like what a perfect little midway stop, right?
It is. It's like directly in the middle of tour. It's kind of funny.
I
Plus-
subletted my apartment out, so I'm like, well,
Where are you gonna stay? You're
And
gonna-
you're
I subletted my apartment out too, but I told my subletter that I was going to come stay there one night.
And I told them both they're both welcome to stay over where the 2 cats are.
I'll just stay wherever the Wolfhammer guys are staying. Just be like, okay.
Oh crap! We'll need to put them up, won't we? Okay.
We're going to sort this out on
Yeah.
your interview.
Yeah. That's great.
Text them, let them know.
Thinking ahead.
So is the goal still to tour Europe? Is that still what you want to do?
Yes.
Yeah, we're going in April.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're playing
You're going.
Burn.
Wow.
It's
And-
not official. We can't.
Oh,
We can't. Roadburn is official.
should I edit that part out?
Confirmed.
Yes,
Oh,
Roadburn is confirmed.
And we're going to
Europe
tour.
is
Yeah, we're
confirmed.
Okay.
touring around that.
But we
We
can't,
can't say
publicize
what
it.
bands we're going with.
Oh, okay.
But we'd also like to tour Japan and Australia. So whoever's viewing this, please hook us up.
Yeah. I just want to write another album. And just keep.
Well,
getting
when's that
better.
gonna happen? I mean, after this little stint, what happens? Do you stay home and go back to life as like quote unquote normal for a while, or do you get right back at it, or what?
Well, we have the tour with Paul Bearer and Solstifier in December, which is a West Coast, west part of the U.S. And then we get home in January, and hopefully we'll write a lot. And then the end of February, we're trying to play a festival in Mexico City, that our friends who own the Acheron in Brooklyn put on.
Sorting that out.
Yeah.
That's a maybe. And then we're going to Europe in April.
And so we're hoping that the bulk
That's
of the
like
album is
okay, so
written.
that brings you to midpoint next year already.
Yeah, I know. And so there's a lot of stress because we don't want momentum to cease, and we know that, I mean, oftentimes when a band will write, you're nearly 6 months behind when you finally record whatever's been going on currently. So we will have a split coming out, I think by January, with
Of new stuff.
one of our friends' bands. Yeah, one new song. And our friends in the band Repellers from Philadelphia, that's going to be a split, I think January.
Yeah.
February-ish?
January, February.
And we're all really excited about that
Cool.
song.
Yeah.
That's definitely...
So
we're stoked on it.
all of you have other things that you do. Is there going to be a point where you can't do them anymore because Mortal is taking over, or
I was
what?
very fearful of that. For this tour, this is the first time that I've been allowed to hire or to have somebody cover for me at my job. Usually I'll do things remotely from the secure remote internet of wherever we're staying. And
Yeah, but that's not always like a viable option if you're...
No, it's not. And so I made sure to get coverage where I work because I also want to go back to where I work. But my coverage is doing such a good job, I worry. This person has already been keeping up more with the social media postings than I do, and I'm like, what's going on? You're gonna do more work than me and do it better. Stop it. But yeah, that's been an issue. I mean, I don't know. I really enjoy what I do for the day job, and I don't think that this will get in the way too much, and the day job has always been super supportive. So I hope that they'll work with me to find a way that when I'm not touring, I can still work there. But we'll see.
Are you quitting your other life?
I've always, my whole life, I've just been like, whatever is happening, I'll figure it out. And
I feel like everyone makes a huge deal of it when they interview you guys, and I'm also someone that does, like, multiple things, and even when someone asks me, what do you do, I never really know what to say, because I do a lot of things, so it's like, oh, why is that such a big deal? Like, of course you do multiple things, you kind of have to, it's 2014, like, what... Of course you have to do multiple things,
Yeah. I mean, my main job is, like, doing graphic design at a fashion design company. I can take that skill many different directions if I choose to. I do sound. I don't think I want to make sound engineering any kind of, like, career, but I feel like that's a skill that I can use to my advantage if I need to. I play in 2 bands that are doing pretty well, and... I know a lot of people. I try to leave, like, decent impressions. I just feel like the older you get, the more life experience you get, and you just end up being able to translate that however way you want. Yeah. Next.
I think, I don't know, the whole trick is just figuring out how when you get home from tour to shift gears. I mean, for me, because I'm like a freelance journalist, like, I just have to, like, throw myself into the other part of my life when I get home instead of just killing time between tours. Like, it's really like I'm passionate and dedicated to all the sides of my life. And so it's more of just like a juggling act and getting good at that. But it's not impossible. It's just something you have to figure out. Like, I've been doing a lot of work on tour, and I actually really enjoy that because there's a lot of dead time on tour. It's very much like a game of, like, hurry up and wait. So it's nice to have something else going on in my life that I care about. But I also, like, I don't know, like, if someone came to us and was like, we want you to do all these huge tours, like, I don't even know what scenario I'm imagining, but, like, the more we get into this, the more I'm like, actually, that sounds fun, and we should, like, go for it while we have the opportunity. Because it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Like, this isn't going to happen forever. And we're going to have the whole rest of our lives to do all this other shit.
Yeah.
So.
I'm very much I'm in that mindset, too, that let's do it now because it's coming at us.
Well, that goes along with what I said. It's like as you go along, kind of just like figure it out.
How each thing
while
fits
these
in,
things are happening, while these offers are coming our way, especially because my bandmates are able to do it too. It's like, why would you ever say no to these
Having
kind of
3 people on the same page about that.
About anything is pretty magical. Yeah, awesome. I can't wait to see where it goes. I can't wait to see what comes next. So, well, that's a lot. I mean, you're like updated us until April of 2015.
Yeah, pretty much.
I guess we'll check in after that. I'm sure I'll find you again. I'd like to come see you in Brooklyn.